Question from the Modern Divorce Support Group. I want to divorce my husband, but I don't have the money right now for a lawyer. I've been asking and practically begging him to leave the home. There is so much tension in the house. I don't think it's healthy for the kids or anyone really, and he refuses.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again, and today we are taking a look at when a wife destroys her husband's heart. Don't forget to drop a comment, make sure you subscribe if you are new here, and let's jump into it.
Titled, Am I the Asshole for Falling Out of Love with My Wife After She Took a 7-Week Vacation?
Oh.
I, 32 male, have been married to my wife, 30 female, for 4 years, and we've been together for 8. She's a stay-at-home mom. We have Irish twins, 1 female, 2 male, which have been incredibly taxing for my wife. She wanted a solo vacation break for a few weeks where she would travel to different states, visit her high school and college friends, go to concerts, and do a lot of fun stuff.
It sounds more like she wants to run away from her responsibilities as a mother and wife. That's what it sounds like.
She asked if I would be okay with it. I asked if she could make it a couple of weeks shorter, because 7 weeks of managing our 2 children alone sounded really daunting, especially since work was also getting taxing recently. I do work remote, so at least that worked in my favor. My wife and I discussed for a couple of days, and I ultimately agreed with her that she did deserve a break because of what she has been through the past few years. And so she took her vacation. The first week managing our children alone was extremely difficult, and I did feel like I was losing my mind. But I survived.
Remember, this guy also had to work and take care of his kids at the exact same time.
My sister came over to help me from the second week on. She was honestly a lifesaver, and I will be eternally grateful for her. I never directly asked her to help me, but I guess I did indirectly, because when she video called me at the end of the first week, I basically broke down in tears. So from the second week on, my sister stayed over at my house to help with my children, and a huge burden had been lifted off of my shoulders. I was also really able to focus on work and meet my deadlines. To be brutally honest, I did not miss my wife at all.
He didn't miss his wife because she left him to go out and have fun and left him with all of the work.
I was emotionally and mentally relaxed and also had a lot of fun with my children and my sister. I felt a sense of betrayal that my wife had actually gone through with the 7-week vacation. I slowly fell out of love with my wife. When she came back from her vacation, she was super refreshed and recharged, but to be honest, I was a bit indifferent. My wife tried to initiate the first night she came back, which I rejected because I said I wasn't feeling it.
You can't help but wonder if she cheated on him during this little quote-unquote vacation of hers. The answer is probably yes.
The subsequent days, I had the same level of indifference in our day-to-day life, and she probably noticed it, but didn't say anything. A week later, she asked me why I was acting like this, and I told her I don't love her anymore.
Ooh.
Wow. She apologized for taking the 7-week vacation and asked if there was anything we could do to fix it. I told her no. We pretty much went through the motions the next couple of weeks before I finally decided that I wanted a divorce.
There is no sense in staying with a woman who would be that disrespectful and selfish to him.
She seemed devastated when I brought up divorce, which surprised me because I had already told her I don't love her anymore. She asked if we could do couples therapy or marriage counseling first before I started looking for a divorce lawyer, and I told her I needed some time to think about it. I've spent a few days thinking about it, and I'm still leaning towards divorce because I basically don't love my wife anymore. I don't think marriage counseling can fix it. So, am I the asshole for falling out of love with my wife because she took a 7-week vacation?
He's not in the wrong. His wife crossed the line when she wanted 7 weeks away from him.
And when did your relationship with Mr. Davis begin?
I'd say the beginning of April 2022.
Okay. The beginning of April of 2022?
Yeah, I'd say like the first week or 2 of April.
Okay. And when did it end?
The very end of March of 2022.
And in early 2022, were you in a sexual relationship with someone other than Mr. Davis?
Yes, ma'am. A white man named Colin.
She just told the judge that their relationship ended a month before they even met. Absolutely classic, isn't it?
Okay. And what makes you think that the white man is not the father of the child?
The child is Mexican.
And is Mr. Jeffrey Davis.
And I've already, yes, ma'am, he is. And I've already gotten in contact with the other party when I was still pregnant. I mean, his whole family, me, we all had a whole shindig about it.
It's crazy how she can be comfortable admitting this kind of stuff as if it's no big deal.
What should you do if a woman wants to take a break?
If a woman wants to take a break, assume you guys are broken up. I don't want you to be holding your breath and thinking like, oh, maybe if I do a bunch of things, I can win her back. Assume you guys are broken up. I'm not saying that you will never get back together. I'm saying that mentally you have to start the process of moving on at that point because she already has done that. So what you should do is you should make sure that you are in a good place. Make sure you're around loved ones, friends, all that stuff. Don't be running around and trying to sleep with every single woman during a break. That's not going to help you move on. And it's probably not going to reflect well on you in the future if you do get with somebody else or even if you guys do get back together. So just assume that you guys are broken up. Assume it's done mentally. But, don't put yourself in a position where you're going to be disappointed because it probably is going to happen.
If she wants to take a break, she's just delaying the inevitable at the absolute best.
So you don't believe in breaks?
I think any form of a break is bullshit. Like, if you need to take a break from this person to either figure out how you feel or whatever, even if you get back from a trip and you're like, I need space from this person for a week, that's also a red flag, I think.
Right.
Like, people will reach out and they'll be like, I just went on like a vacation with my boyfriend and like we like needed like a week after to like be on our own. I'm like, but you're going to live together one day.
There is nothing to figure out. If she wants a break, it is best to just break things off.
Right. It's only going to get more and more.
You need to love being with this person all the time. Like when you come back from a trip with Cody, like aren't you like, oh my God, we're like more connected than ever. Like we have a million more inside jokes from the trip.
Totally.
You know?
And I'm like excited to do the things that we normally do at home together. Like just like watch TV or like cook or whatever
like
it is. Like I'm excited for being home with him just as much as I would be excited to like travel with him.
Totally.
If you are that exhausted from a dude after a trip, then it's going to be a lot worse later on.
Describe your ex using one word.
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Oh my days. How was that relationship?
It was my first really long-term boyfriend. I broke up with him, so it was fine from my part. I think he struggled to get over it for a while, but I moved on pretty quickly, I think.
Why did you break up with him then? What happened ultimately?
We just didn't really match very well. Like our interests, our hobbies didn't quite align.
So what would you say is the biggest thing you learned from that relationship looking back?
It's not normal to be really unsure about your relationship for a long time. I was like thinking about breaking up for a really long time before I actually did it, and I think I should have just done it.
The more she talks, the more it sounds like she was just leading the guy on out of convenience, and I would not be surprised at all.
How comes you delayed, do you think?
Some like really big issues that happened in his life, and I just didn't want to add up with the breakup and like make his life any like worse.
Any regrets?
I broke up with him over the phone. That's my biggest regret. I think it's best to do it in person.
He was going through a hard time, and she thinks that he's irrelevant. What a real keeper that is.
My wife asked for a separation, then got mad when I dated other people. We were married to each other with my 32 male, wife 32 female for 5 years. However, she told me she fell out of love with me and was looking for something different last year. So even though I tried to convince her to stay, she decided to move forward and we were separated for little over a year. She told me she wanted to try things out again, which I was content to. We started seeing a couples counselor next week with the intent of aligning our feelings and thoughts before moving in together again.
You can't tell a man that you don't love him and expect him to stick around. That is just complete nonsense.
One of the questions that was asked was if I've been in another relationship during the time or any other women. Counselor told us honesty is the way to go here, so I came clean. I actually had a go-to club, get drunk, sleep around phase for a few months and slept with 13 women in total. Now she thinks we cannot get back together, but I told her we were separated and in the divorce process back then. I think it's impossible to get back together now that I talked about my dating life during our separation, but I wonder if I was an a-hole for sleeping around when we were separated.
Sounds like she wanted to be with another guy and then used her husband as the backup.
When your partner says that they need space, here's what you need to do. I'm Stacey Bartley. I'm a relationship expert and I've helped more than 500 couples over the past 10 years. And this is what I've learned is that when a person says they need space, there's something that they're being honest about. And your lack of not giving them space will tend to make them feel suffocated and trapped in the relationship. Now, if this brings up a lot of insecurity within you, which oftentimes it can, we can go to places like, oh gosh, if they want space, this doesn't mean they love me. This doesn't mean, or this means that they don't want to be around me. family, etc. Just vet those things out.
Sometimes a guy just needs a little bit of space. There is nothing inherently wrong with that.
You know, when you ask me for space, this is where I go. I'm going to assume it's not true. Is it? Because if it is, let's talk about it now. And if it isn't, and you just need some space, I want you to know that it's more times than not about you and about their own need to recollect themselves, their own need to stop the emotional overwhelm and internal conflict that they're feeling inside of themselves. And as a human being, that's the only way we can accomplish that, is by pulling away from all the stimulus, the needs and wants and desires that I'm desperately trying to please when it comes to loving the people around me. And I just need to take a break for a minute. That's what it means. And that's what I'm saying when I say I just need some space.
There is a difference between needing space, though, and wanting a break. They are not the same thing at all.
How do I tell my husband of 15 years I want a divorce?
My first question would be, have they tried therapy together? It sounds like they haven't.
If he starts telling you he'll change or whatever, you tell him it's too late. You're beyond wanting to spend any time or money fixing the relationship. You're happier when he's gone and you're done.
That's so sad.
I feel like this is just so common that it's actually like frustrating to me. There needs to be more people that are speaking positively about marriage. Being single is hard. Being married has challenges.
Freaking life is hard, dude.
Life is hard.
Life is hard.
And you're not meant to do it alone.
Wanting to get a divorce after 15 years is one of the dumbest things a woman can do. But hey, they do it all the time, it seems.
Like, obviously, there are really, really great, amazing reasons for being single in general. I'm so sick of the narrative that's like, girl, you leave him. You deserve better. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, wait a minute. Can we be a little self-reflective here? Let's quit going to this resort, because guess what? You're going to find yourself in another relationship where you're like, well, you know what? They're not perfect, so I'm going to move on again. I'm not saying there are horrible situations. It's like divorce is the only option for you. You have to do that. But it's just a really frustrating thing.
It is tough to be positive about marriage when the game is completely rigged against the husband.
Question from the Modern Divorce Support Group. I want to divorce my husband, but I don't have the money right now for a lawyer. I've been asking and practically begging him to leave the home. There is so much tension in the house. I don't think it's healthy for the kids or anyone really, and he refuses. He says no, he wants to stay in the house for the kids. Is there anything I can do to get him out? Or do I have to wait until I can afford a divorce?
It's crazy how she thinks she has the right to needlessly kick that man out of his own home.
Hello, my name is Billy Tarasio. This question is from the Modern Divorce Support Group over on Facebook. If you want to ask a question, go ahead and go over there and follow me here. You can't kick out a co-owner of their house because there's tension. You can leave, but you can't force them to leave. And in Arizona, where I practice, even filing for divorce isn't at all a guarantee that a judge is going to kick out the other person from their house.
She doesn't want to leave because she wants the comforts of the home without actually having him around.
The only reason that somebody would be immediately removed from their home would be if they commit an act of domestic violence, and then you go get an order of protection or a protective order, whatever you call them in your state. In my state, it's a protective order, an order of protection. So if there's an act of domestic violence, then you can have somebody removed for your physical safety, but just because you're uncomfortable, and I don't want to diminish that discomfort. I know it's real, but your discomfort isn't legally a justification to require.
It's obvious that her husband isn't violent. She just wants to keep everything for herself.
What are some things she's not doing or that are signaling to you that she's not interested in being married?
She doesn't want to spend any time with me. She doesn't really seem to care about what's going on in my life or what's going on with work or anything like that. She spends most of her time with her family, and if I have anything to say about how I feel about what's going on, then it's twisted or turned against me. And if I bring up any instances of times that I feel like she's kind of dismissed me or put me off, then she says, no, you're twisting my words. That's not what I said. That's not what's going on.
It is never okay to gaslight your husband simply because you are unhappy.
How long has this been going on, man?
A few years.
You have kids?
No.
How long have you been married?
Almost 15 years.
So how can I help, man? What are you thinking?
I don't know. I've talked with a couple of counselors, and they kind of get to the end of the line of questioning and say that there's not really much else that they can do. There's not really much that they can try. We've tried couples counseling, which she hated because the counselor asked her to make some changes that she was not willing to make.
In other words, the counselor didn't blindly agree with her and wasn't validating her victimhood.
Like what?
Specifically, the one that really made her angry was the counselor asked her to put some effort into the marriage, making sure that she was involved in the decision making and involved in growing the relationship, and she didn't like being given that assignment.
Wow. Does she have psychiatric challenges, or has she been diagnosed with any sort of psychological diagnostic?
Well, I asked her to go and seek counseling on her own after the marriage counseling didn't work, and she went for a couple of times. And I don't know if she either didn't tell the counselor or lied to the counselor, but they gave her a clean bill of health and kind of moved on.
She's already checked out of the marriage. There is nothing that guy can do to save it at all.
I mean, I don't have a lot for you. You've done all the things I would tell you to do. I guess my question for you is, are you going to stay married?
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the...
How often do you all sleep together?
Not very often. That was one thing she wanted to step away from fairly early on in the marriage.
So for 15 years, you've been dealing with living in somewhat of a sexless marriage?
Yeah.
Why have you done this for 15 years?
Because every time it gets brought up, she says that she'll try. And I don't know if I'm just too cowardly to step away or if I'm just too wrapped up in the idea that maybe she'll try this time.
Men will be fiercely loyal to the people they care about, even if that woman is harmful for him.
I guess for whatever it's worth, she has left you. She left you a long, long time ago. She quit this marriage ages ago. And I don't know what she gets out of it. I don't know if it's financial security. I don't know if it is anchor security. I don't know what it is, but she spends most of her time with her family. She told you early on, sex is not going to be part of this. Sex and intimacy, which is a cornerstone of any romantic relationship. We're not doing that. I don't want to build a future with you. I'm going to walk out of a therapist office who says, I need to invest more in this relationship. Like, she's opted out completely. And so I guess if nothing else, just hear me say, y'all still have a piece of paper, but she left this marriage a long time ago. Y'all just happen to share a house a few nights a week when she's not at her parents' house.
It is clear that she married him out of convenience, and she has resented the guy ever since.
What has changed you for the better?
Funny enough, my divorce. And it's not in the way you think it is. I was married for 15 years with the same person together for 19 throughout all my 20s and 30s and into my early 40s. She had an affair, but also we were just disconnecting after 20 plus years of being together. It just allowed me to realize what was important to me. And through therapy and through the help of friends helping me, talking to me, giving me advice, also telling me when I was being an idiot, I reacted very strongly. I let my emotions take over my thought process, but the therapy and the friends allowed me through, it's been 2-3 years now, allowed me to see, what I was doing right and what I was doing wrong and how to become a better person.
It's good that he didn't let his wife's betrayal completely destroy him. He actually got to move on, so good for him. If you would like to get early access to videos, weekly lectures, and case study breakdowns of human behavior, make sure you check out the members area link below in the video description. Otherwise, make sure to click on one of these videos on screen now if you enjoyed. Make sure you take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.